Hey story friends! Welcome to the final day of Best of Stories That Soar Week 2021. Besides being fun and meaningful, Stories That Soar is an educational program that teaches literacy, culture, and critical thinking. In a typical year, you know we like to come to your classroom and get feedback and answer your questions. This year, we had to create the What Did You Think link to continue this kind of conversation. We're also using that feedback and those questions to create special behind-the-scenes segments at the end of each Stories That Soar week at each school. But today, we're going to start the episode with an example of one of those behind-the-scenes segments. Enjoy.
Welcome to Stories That Soar Behind the Scenes. Like many people this year, STS met over Zoom. The cool thing about meeting online is we were able to work with some of our former actors who had moved away. We worked with actors in New York, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. How did they do that? Let's jump right in with some common questions we received this year. We were often asked, how did we put actors in castles or alternate realities? Well, we used a green screen. What is a green screen? It's a big piece of green fabric. Actors perform in front of a green screen so we can make the background disappear in editing. You can put an actor anywhere. We remove green because it isn't a color that naturally occurs in human skin. You can make anything that is green disappear, like Rachel's head for chicken nuggets. Here's the footage, and we remove the color green, and suddenly Rachel has no head. Then we put her in New York, and it's time to put the chicken nugget head on. Even our pets got in on some of the green screen fun. Oh, Tula! We were often asked, how did you stay safe? Our actors and their families' safety was our priority this season, and that often meant working with our families and other people that we were in pods or quarantining with. Many of our friends and family made their acting debuts this year. When we were together, we wore masks, and to give the illusion that we were together, we used a green screen. We were all filmed separately and put together in the editing process. We also used editing tricks to make it seem like we were in the room together. Like here, you think the girls are telling stories in the same room. But in fact, we weren't. We filmed every person's scene alone and turned on the fans and let the space air out before we filmed the next person's unmasked scene. And when Frankie screams, she's actually not screaming. She just opened her mouth and pretended so as little spit flew out as possible. How did you share your ideas? After our Zoom meetings, we created scripts and storyboards. A script is what the actors say. A storyboard is a map that shows you what to film by using pictures. Here are storyboard panels next to the final scenes from The Shadow Queen. We use these pictures to communicate with editors and the rest of the team, so we're all working toward the same vision. Editing is a critical part of storytelling through film. It is the part of the process where you put all the pieces together to create the final story. Editing is where you can emphasize what you want the audience to see and feel. In Savannah the History Girl, we faded from the young actors hugging to the adult version of those characters to make you feel the love and friendship and see the passage of time. For the clock, we used what's called a classic vertigo shot, like the one from the classic movie Jaws. We used this shot to create a sense of extreme disorientation and discomfort for the characters, and hopefully the audience. Another common question was, what program did you use? We used a lot of programs, but most commonly iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, and for animations like Zombies and Hearts and Two Friends, we used a program called Procreate. What equipment did you use? Well, some of us had cameras, a lot of us used our phones and GoPros, and when we wanted to get fancy, we used a camera called a drone. A drone is a camera that can fly. You'll see it in this next section in the story called Eyes. We also used it in stories when things got a little weird in the desert and when we fell in love over a game of chess. You don't have to be high-tech to create a great story or film. You just have to be creative. Here's a low-tech trick that we used. In the story The Lost Keys, when they're watching TV, there wasn't actually a TV. We just had a light handy that we kept covering and uncovering to create the flicker of a television set. There are some great stories that used handmade drawings, puppets, and even kitchen items to tell the story. When you use your imagination and creativity, the sky's the limit. We learned a lot this season. We hope you enjoyed this quick behind the scenes of some of the most frequently asked questions. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Once there was a girl named Savannah. Savannah went to the library to check out a book. She immediately fell in love with one particular book. It was a book about a leader from our history. So she decided to check it out and take it home with her. She read that book every day. The kids in school even started to call her History Girl. But Savannah didn't care. At recess, Savannah would find a place by herself and read. She even checked out a couple more just like it. Savannah had two friends, Zoe and Chloe. She told them all about how she wanted to be just like the people she read about in the books.
I want to be just like them when I get older. You can do it if you try. Just follow your dream. You guys are the best.
And Savannah did just that. She became the first female president and started to make her own history. The end.
Eyes. Have you ever wondered what you look like? You might say yes through a mirror or a reflection, but never with your own eyes. So think about it. When someone says you're ugly, that is through their eyes, not yours.
It's time for another question with
Curiosity Box.
Paulina in Miss Fernandez's class wonders, how do birds kiss? When birds appear to be sharing a kiss, it's actually a sign of courtship. Birds often touch beaks and exchange food before breeding season in the spring. The beak touches can also appear as though the birds are kissing. While birds may not actually be kissing, they are showing affection in their own way.
Ryan, time for bed.
Okay. Clones are running. Zombies are chasing me. We are running to the house. The dragon has wings. Dragon is breathing fire.
Hearts are falling from the sky. She's flying with a balloon. She is happy. It's okay, sweetie. It was just a dream.
Once upon a time, there was a monster named Mike. And he was big, but kind. He got a job. His job was to teach monsters how to be smart and be kind. He was rich. He spent all his money on important stuff. But one day, he got fired because he was lying that he was sick. He had to look for a job. He went to a place called United America and was hired. And the next day, he started working as hard as he could. He was the only one who loved his boss and cared about her. He liked his life. The end.
today's partners and authors. Thank you to our donors and our sponsors. And thank you for making this very special season of Stories That Soar possible. Please let us know what you thought. And if you would like to see Best of Stories That Soar at the drive-ins with your friends and family, come and join us on May 22nd. And if you'd like to keep writing for the Magic Box and its family, you can do that at the Magic Box Story Portal at literacyconnects.org. And whatever you need to, and wherever you may go, please keep writing and using your imaginations. And from all of us at Stories That Soar, we wish you health and happiness.